I'm Martha Entwistle, Managing Editor of Security Systems News, and we are here today on the show floor of ISC East in New York City, and we're asking people what they think about reports that the recession is over.
My answer is partially yes and no. I think to a certain extent business is starting to improve dramatically. At least in our office we see an increase in business. We see an increase in lending from the banks. We see an increase in improvement in mergers and acquisition activity. However, unemployment is going to be with us yet, in my opinion, for at least a couple of years. And then we have some other issues yet with the banks, lending, and also real estate, I think, is going to be an issue for the next couple of years. And credit cards present a problem. So I think it's going to be difficult for the economy to go up totally, but I think it's going to go up significantly, really starting now. And that's been our experience.
It really depends on the geographic area in the country. For the most part, yes, it is over. We see sales picking up. We see on the wholesale monitoring side the sales are picking up. But there are still certain demographics around the country that are still hard hit. Southern Florida, the Arizona area, Phoenix has been decimated. So for the most part, I see it turning. I see it coming back.
I do not think the recession is over. I think we're going to be in a probably neutral territory for several years just based on a lot of the fundamentals that have occurred. I do think that the opportunity for security in the security industry is probably better than most other industries, however. I was at an investors conference last week in Washington, and the consensus was for about 8% growth in the security market and related fields. So that's not bad. Everything else might be 2% or flat. So I don't think the recession's over. I think we're in for a long slog, as they say, but I do think the security industry is probably going to be the best place to be.
Is that your answer?
My answer is, I don't think so. Hopefully it is. Hopefully. There's still a lot of people unemployed, and we're still seeing a lot of price pressure on the street. So we just came out with a new low-cost way of doing video surveillance, so we're hoping everyone's still very sensitive to price. But yeah, I'm glad somebody's saying that. I think there's a lot of people unemployed. So if I was unemployed, I wouldn't be too happy to hear that.
Well, Martha, I think that's pretty positive thinking. It took us years to get into this, so I'm having a tough time thinking we got out of it this quick.
Yeah.
I think it's stabilized, but I think that we got a little bit further to go. So I think things they'll look up. It's going to take a little bit of time.
It's hard for us to tell. Our commercial business is still struggling a bit on the government and the military side that we participate in. Business has been as robust as ever. It seems like some of the stimulus money is starting to hit the street, and we do a lot of work in education and transportation. But the core commercial market that we've traditionally served through the small security dealer appears to us to still remain a bit weak.
I think it's headed in that direction. I'm not sure over, but what we encountered the first half of this year was just almost no business activity. It's like a giant hold the breath sort of pause. Since June, July, activities picked up, not necessarily lots of orders and things, but people are talking again, they're asking questions, they're asking for quotes. There seems to be just a lot more uptick activity.
So there you have it. That's what people are saying today on the show floor of ISC East in New York City.